Are you feeling distracted? You do not have focused environment? You want to stop procrastination and you want to get more done in less time? Then this video is for you. Keep watching the video as we are going to briefly talk about 21 great ways to stop procrastination from this book, Eat That Frog. There are 21 best methods provided in this book by Brian Tracy about how to stop procrastination and get more done in less time. But there are few that is relatable to you, and we will discuss only those few in 2 parts of this video. So today we are going to discuss about few ideas in part 1, and later I will create one more video, part 2 of this procrastination book. So let's get into the book and let's get started. To do the hardest task of the day or most important task of the day first thing in the morning or whenever you get started. By doing first thing in the morning, you will ensure that you are doing very important task first. And after completing the hard task, you will not have the big task of the day in front of you, and most likely you will not procrastinate. So, which is most important to you, do that first, and later part of the day you can do the remaining task of the day. Next thing author want to convey is importance of habits. We all know that how important our habits are. As this saying goes, habits can make you and habits can break you. So it is important to choose those habits which will give you success at the end of the day and not a failure at the end of the day. Choose the habits which are going to make you productive and focused. Next thing the author want to convey is there are no shortcuts. The author tells that practice is the only key. Brain has the power to learn any skill, but it can be done only with practice and no shortcuts. So if these 3 things are kept in mind, then it is for sure that you are going to be productive. First thing, eat the earliest first and choose those habits which is going to make you productive, and there are no shortcuts in productivity. Practice is the only key. Now those 3 things were just a brief ideas on how to be productive, but let's discuss about real action plans on how to be productive. First thing author talks about is set your table first. Do not take it in literal meanings, of course. Set your table first means plan in advance before going to action. The author tells that it is very important to know which frog you want to eat before deciding to eat the frog. That is, before deciding to do a task. The author tells few steps that will help you to make your plan efficiently. First step is that you should know what you want to do or what you want to accomplish. Second thing is that write the goal down in a book or in a piece of paper. Next thing you will do that make a list of activities that you will be required to do in order to achieve that goal. Next is make a priority list on which you will do first and which you will do last to accomplish the goal. This is the brief idea on how to make a plan. Always remember that how bad is your plan is not important if you are taking the action. Bad plan with action is good than perfect plan with no action. So make planning before you want to eat any frog or before you want to do any task. The second most important productivity tip is that plan every day in advance or schedule every single day in advance. If you want to accomplish maximum throughout the day, then you should always plan beforehand. If you are asked that how will you eat an elephant, then you should answer that bit by bit. That is, how will you achieve a big goal, 1 year goal in 1 year, then you should always tell that on the daily basis. On the daily basis in the sense, by planning every day what you will accomplish, you will always accomplish more than what you will have to accomplish. So use 90-10 rule to plan your day. That is, spend 10% of your time in planning and 90% of your time in execution. The author tells that every minute you spend in planning will save almost 10 minutes of your execution time. So it is very good news, and it is also time saving to plan. So plan beforehand. It will be very useful for the productivity. The third most important productivity tip is use the rule of 80-20 in every single aspect of your life. The 80-20 principle goes on to say that 80% of the result will come only from minor 20% of the task that you are going to do. If you want to know in great detail about the 80-20 principle, then visit the book called The 80-20 Principle by Richard Koch. We are also going to do video on the book in coming videos. So be connected. Now, the rule says that focus on 20% because we always have a time crunch or we have limited amount of time. So focusing on very limited amount of thing which will give you maximum result is the key area to success. Use this principle in every aspect of your life. It can be business, it can be studies, or it can be any productivity. So use the rule and reap the maximum benefit. The next most important thing is, or tip is, practice creative procrastination. We have limited amount of time every single day. We cannot achieve whatever we think because we always think than what we can always do in actions. Everyone procrastinate, but difference between a creative procrastinator and normal procrastinator is that creative procrastinator will procrastinate those things which are insignificant to him or her, or which are very small. No one, if he is a productive person, then he will definitely not procrastinate on important tasks of the day. So it is important that you should procrastinate on insignificant tasks, not on significant tasks. The next important tip is consider the consequences. What do I mean by consider the consequences is that whenever you are procrastinating on anything, then first thing first that you should consider what is the consequences of procrastinating on this thing. That will ultimately give you the sense that you will be a failure or you will be a successful person at the end of the day or end of the year or end of a decade by procrastinating on that thing or not. So, long-term thinking will improve short-term decision making. Think long-term, what you want to do, and according to that, procrastinate or don't procrastinate on a particular task. Prioritize the task which to procrastinate and which to not to procrastinate. This was the first part of the video. I have given you brief and important tips from the book called Eat That Frog. There are many more tips in this book, but due to time constraint and length of the video, I am going to take it in part 2. So if you like the video, then give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends, and be connected for part 2. Thank you. Have a good day.